Hi, that's little Mira. Can we say hi to everybody, baby? Yeah. Mira's just relaxing, enjoying our time here in Canmore. Hope everyone can see the backdrops here. Here we are. Yeah, where are we? We are in Canmore, Alberta. So we're just about 20 minutes.
Backdrops here.
20 minutes. Sorry, just little technical difficulties here. 20 minutes outside of Banff, where the race starts. And this is a place that I've spent a lot of time at, living here for years and years. So it definitely is our Canadian home. And it's a great spot to get final preparations done for the race. And so Mira and I have been enjoying our time here in the mountains, getting ready for the event. And yeah, maybe we could start off if people are on the chat, if they want to let us know where they're watching from. I got some messages earlier today from South Africa, and I see Ryan is there from Boulder, Colorado. Hi, Pete. Yeah, this place is pretty special. Those are the three sisters in the background. You can see what's going on there, and some of the peaks around in the range. And from time to time, you might hear helicopters coming over. Hi, Stony Creek, Ontario. I went to school in Hamilton, so I know the area pretty well, St. Catharines. Fresno, California. Hi, guys. Hope your weather's is nice. Not sure how to pronounce that. Is it Rianne? Thanks for tuning in from South Africa, from Cape Town. That's great. And Tyler, Mira and I will be coming through Flagstaff on the Arizona Trail, actually, later on. So yeah, great to see you. Oh, Pittsburgh, PA. Awesome. Omaha, Nebraska. Someone saying hi, Juan. You either spent some time in Mexico or another Spanish-speaking. Oh, Blake, it's good to see you. Mira and I had a great time. Blake, everybody, is from Coronado, California. So if you're familiar with the Navy SEALs, they do their training there. But the town itself is pretty special. And I posted that I was looking to go back to Canada to do some work. And Blake contacted me in minutes. He was kind enough to care for Mira and take her out to the dog beach and hang out with the seals every day while I was gone. So yeah, I hope the family is doing well, Blake. Good to see you. Los Angeles and Lunenburg. Hey, that home of the Blue Nose, I think. Is that right? So it's yeah, great to see you guys. And Asheville, North Carolina. I spent some time down that way. Chicago, Belgium. Great stuff. So I guess you're excited to see the tour start this month, and all the Belgians doing well there. I think you guys will have a good showing. That's pretty cool. All right, Greg, your wife wants to know if Mira has a boyfriend. No, she's single, so if you know of anyone, that'd be great. Yeah, Barbara, so the tracker for the race is coming up. That's coming up is the trackleaders.com website, and I've posted a link on Instagram, or you can just do trackleaders website, trackleaders.com, and in the list you can be able to search for the Tour Divide 2023, and they have lots of events. I'm hoping, I've contacted them and they seemed open to it, that Mira and I will have our own color for our icon, or a little doggy icon, so to make it easier for everyone to follow along. What do you think about that? She's unimpressed. She's sleeping. She's just hanging out here in the shade. Douglas, you want to hear about me? I'm not sure how much you want to, how much you really want to hear. I grew up in Canada, in central Canada. I've always been into the outdoors and travel. I have done some, well, actually quite extensively done some bike racing, road, track, mountain biking. And then, as you can imagine, with a backdrop like this, I moved out here for all the climbing. And so I did a lot of that, which has taken me all over the world, both recreationally and for work. And then I've come back to cycling as a means of travel. And it was actually, it's partly Ryan's fault that I'm doing this race in a couple of days, because we had such a great time on the GDMBR, which is the Great Divide mountain bike race. We talked about racing it, and now I am. So yeah, thanks, Ryan. Ryan, I see here, Rab, you say that Ryan should do this. He's got some great adventures coming, so stick tuned to his YouTube channel. He has some great adventures. There's stuff on there currently, and then some more stuff for the summer. So he might do this someday. Yes, Colorado on this trip. We will go through Colorado twice. So the Tour Divide route. Sorry, I'm just going to put on my sunglasses here, guys. The Tour Divide route travels through Colorado. I think we do Steamboat Springs, we do Breckenridge, Salida, a bunch of other of the great mountain towns. But I tell you what, on the way back, so what we're going to do is we will do the race, and then after we get to the New Mexico border, and a little bit of rest, we're going to need some of that. We'll make our turn back to, we're going to make a turn, sorry, I just see a message there. We're going to make a turn back to the north, and we'll use the Arizona Trail, the AZT, a route called the Plateau Passage, which goes between Vegas and Durango. We'll pick it up at Kanab about partway through, and then we'll follow the Colorado Trail northbound, because it goes between Durango and Denver, or you can do it the other way around, and then we'll visit Ryan in Boulder, and eventually connect back onto the GDMBR to head back. So I'm just wondering here, guys, it says that I'm live, and like a space monkey, I pushed the wrong button. And so this is a new link, which I've posted on Instagram. So hopefully that doesn't mean that too many people are lost and not going to make it here. It seems like a bunch of you have made it, because I see the messages coming through.
The question's coming, folks. I'm just trying to see.
Yeah, Tyler, hopefully we do see you on the Arizona Trail. We'll definitely go through Flagstaff. It's a great little town. We enjoy our time there. Douglas, how many miles do we plan to do? Sorry, I'm going to have to quote this in kilometers. Unfortunately, I have a hard time translating, but I might be able to. So the schedule we're going to go in with the race, basically I look at it in a couple of different ways, but for the race, it's hard to make up time. So I really have to have a start in the way that will get us the end result that I'm looking for. So we're going to do about 250, 260 kilometers. So I think that ends up being a little bit more than 160 miles today. Someone should check the math on that. But basically riding about 16 or 17 hours a day, and then basically try and fit in 4 to 6 hours of sleep in there, and the rest would be stopped for getting food and other things along the way. So yeah, it's a robust schedule, especially with Mira. With Mira, she's 40 pounds, and then so Mira at 40 pounds, and then her gear and her water, all those things, basically it's another 50 pounds on the bike. So we'll see how that works out, how my body stands up to all that. And then with Mira, I've done a couple of things. She's, oh great, thanks Rab, yeah, 160 miles is kind of what we're trying to do for every day. I see Memo. Yeah, Europe is definitely on our to-do list. So the plan is to. Oh yeah, Ryan. We will definitely visit John and Barbara. We'll stop with them on the way down. We'll get a night's sleep, as most sensible Tour Divide riders or GDMBR riders should do. Visit with them. And then in the way back north, we'll stop in for a longer visit. To the Europe question, yeah, so we're going to ride to all 7 continents, Europe being one. And we've been there, Mira spent a bunch of time in Spain, and we'll probably ride the European Divide. We'll enter Europe twice, actually, once before we go to Africa through Italy, and then we'll come back up and ride the European Divide, which goes from the southwestern tip of Portugal all the way up to the North Cape in Norway, I believe it finishes. So yeah, we'll have lots of great things to see. What are we doing for food? Happy Biker asks. So I'll carry some electrolyte powder and some gels, and then most of the food I can buy along the way. You know, things like some sandwiches or bagels, cream cheese. You know, grocery stores will have pre-made sandwiches. Stop in for a hamburger at a place. Basically, you know, frozen gas station burritos, chocolate bars, anything. Really, I'm probably going to be consuming about 300 calories an hour, so several thousand calories throughout the day. And then with Mira, I'll carry dog food kibble for her, and then I'll also have lots of treats for her. Yeah, Mira eats cheese. Yeah, she does, Rab. But she's not going to live on cheese for this event, so I'll make sure she stays hydrated, and she gets a good meal in the mornings and at night, and then on this event she'll get snacks all the way, and then she can drink water. I have a little special cup, a little gulpy cup it's called, and so I can give her water while we're riding, which is super helpful. And she also will forage for water, but I'll make sure that it's not you know, something that's you know, super filthy and unhealthy for her. No, the cheese, she doesn't get a lot of cheese, Rab. It's mostly just as a little taste. And do I need a Sherpa? The Sherpas I've seen don't usually go as fast as us, but unfortunately this is a self-supported race, so no outside assistance is allowed. It's too bad. Mira will pull when she can, though.
Somebody asked about your training.
Yeah, the mountains are beautiful here. Is Mira allowed to pull you if you get tired? Ryan, you know she is. Yes, of course. Yeah, so the mountains are beautiful here. We're pretty fortunate here in the Bow Valley. You can see the Canmore wall above there, and then that's Lawrence Grassy Peak off in that direction, and then the Three Sisters, and then there's a Mount Rundle which runs the full length, about 18 kilometers from Canmore all the way to Banff. And we'll actually ride on the opposite side of that from the highway when we start the event. So a lot of this first part of the terrain through Canada is very familiar to me, and it'll feel like home, I think. You know, yeah, what's our favorite thing about living in Canmore? I mean, honestly, we don't really live in Canmore anymore. Our mail comes here. We have lots of close friends, but we spend so much time riding around. Mira has been in Mexico, I guess, for about a year, and I had 2 flights out, and this last bit we were there together for 6 months. So yeah, the next will be Guatemala after this this US summer tour. And yeah, so it's a beautiful place to be able to come back and visit, though, with close friends and see the area. It's lovely. What else we got here?
How many days?
What do I love most about Mexico? I guess I would say that the people are some of the most generous and friendly that I've come across. Yeah, they're always big smile on their face. They say hello in the streets, which doesn't always happen here in town. And the food, of course, and then the mountainous terrain in many parts of the country, and then there's coastal areas. Um, yeah, and then there's Mexico, but also New Mexico. I'm really looking forward. I haven't been to that state. It's one of the states that I haven't been to in the Southwest. So we're both looking excited to it. But I hear that it's a hard state on the race. What else we got here? We have. How do you have a goal in how many days do you want to do the GDMBR? Okay, thanks, Aaron. So yeah, how long we're planning to do it? That's a really tough question for a bunch of reasons. One, I don't want to seem like I'm, maybe too aggressive in my predictions. But also, we've never raced together, Mira and I've never done a race this long before. My guess is something on either side of 3 weeks, so 21 days. So maybe if the weather conditions and all our planning and the amounts that I eat and all that kind of thing, and Mira, because her safety is super important to me. If all those things work out, then we'll be less than 21 days. And if there's a lot of snow in the passes and say rain in New Mexico, that peanut butter mud that everyone talks about, that could really slow us down. So yeah, it's hard to say, but that 3 week mark is kind of what we're looking for. And then the other thing, so people have, will Ryan join us in Honduras? I hope so. That would be great. We've talked about it, but he's a busy man. Although I'm lucky because Mira is his favorite dog, I think, still, right? Yeah, that's right, Rab. So yeah, basically 160 miles. If I do 160 miles every day, that would put us closer to the 17-day mark, which would be terrific. That would be a competitive time for any rider, let alone someone who has a dog with them. Sorry, I forgot what the last question was before that. Remember? Yeah, so Bill, we are, as far as I can tell, we're not the first ones to do the GDMBR, but the Tour Divide, which is the race, it's the route is somewhat different, not enough really to be too concerned, but yeah, we're the first ones. Mira's the first dog to race this. We've ridden much of the Tour Divide in both winter and summer conditions, and I'm sure a lot of you have seen Ryan's great videos on the GDMBR. So yeah, the first ones, and so I'm hoping track leaders will give us our own little icon to help everyone follow along. Yeah, we'll see what's going on. Yeah, so someone's asked about snow in Montana and Idaho. Hopefully not too much in Colorado, but yeah, there'll be snow on the ground in the high passes, maybe on the track itself, and we'll have to walk through that. The weather since I've been in Canada has been excellent. We had a little bit of rain, some grolpo, which is kind of like a hail, comes out of a thunderstorm. But really the rain has been very light, so I think our conditions could be pretty darn good. Yeah, that's the hope. Yeah, in terms of so to do the kind of schedule we're looking to do, what it means, because there's only so fast I can ride, and what tends to be the case is that the average speed for people, regardless of where they finish in the top 10 or top 15, The average moving speed is really similar. In fact, last year, the winner, Sofian, his moving average speed was slower than the next 5 competitors, but he didn't sleep very much. So in terms of a sleep schedule, something around 4 to 6 hours a day, with some naps maybe in there if I need it. The danger of micro sleeps, like you would maybe driving, is a real thing. I wouldn't want to crash the bike with Mira on board, or even me too. So we need to be careful about that. So a little 15-minute sleep goes a long way to keeping that safety. And then of course coffee to help out with things. And Mira gets to sleep in the basket, and then she'll sleep beside me. Interestingly though, we are not taking a tent. I have a bivy bag with a sleeping bag and an air mattress inside, and then I have closed cell foam for Mira. And then one of our supporters and sponsors, Grey Goose Mobile Vet, provided us with, hi Krista, a Mylar emergency blanket in an envelope specifically for Mira, so I can help keep her warm, which would be pretty cool. To be able so if we get bad weather, then we'll need to search out maybe a hotel or some kind of outbuilding for shelter, because we're not carrying any with us, even a pine tree. This is awesome. People are chatting back and forth in the chat to each other. That's great. So new logo, some people mentioned. So that one is it's one of our Instagram followers produced that for us, and I will put the link to their Instagram page in the description below. And that's just for the Tour Divide. So I have stickers right now that I'll hand out on the route. If people come out, we'll have a decent supply with us, and of course in Banff, and probably on the way back north if people want some. And then if people really like them, just send us a message, and I'll produce another batch and take down people's details. I don't have a drop shipping or sort of sophisticated way to get those out, so it means we gotta send out hand letters with everyone's stickers on there, but we'll make that happen if there's enough interest, for sure. What else we got there? Tips for West Coast ocean mountain biking this time of year. Ooh, well, I'm not sure where on the West Coast you are. If one of the great things is maybe pop into one of the local shops. They can point you to the trails, or there's a lot of great riding groups. I know here, people get together for group rides and such, and that can help, especially as a new rider. You can really increase the speed at which you learn, and your safety too. If you had a crash or something like that, it's nice to have other people around. So that, in general sense, and then enjoy yourself. There's lots to this sport, lots to learn. So definitely get a group of like-minded people that can really help your progress. Ryan, thank you very much. We will definitely have bean and cheese burritos for all of us. Just got another question coming through here. Sorry guys, we are still here. Which one are we looking at? So someone's asking about the bike. So that question comes up pretty regularly. It's pretty often it happens. What I'll say is so the bike is based upon the Salsa Black Burrow bike, which is no longer made anymore, and it was perfect for dogpacking. And in Ryan's video of the GDMBR, you can see that bike. You can see that bike in his videos of us in Baja. So that's pretty awesome in the design. And so this one is designed on that. And the thing that I really wanted to add to it was the pinion. You can see that's actually representing the pinion gears and the pinion drive system and the gates belt. And I worked with an American bike shop, but the frame itself was built in China, and it was definitely a long process. It took 2 years and 2 frames, and the great folks at Black Sheep Frames in Fort Collins, Colorado, to do some modifications. So it was not a pleasant experience, and that's why I haven't really shared. I don't want to be too negative and pile in on the people that I worked with. But Black Sheep and many other custom titanium frame builders in Canada and the U.S. and also in Europe can definitely help you out if you're looking for something similar. I'll leave it at that. In terms of the other stuff, maybe some of the changes we've made to the bike for this race. You might have seen that I had 27.5 diameter wheels, and then I had 3-inch wide tires, and I've gone up to 29 mountain bike wheels. Astral Cycling out of Bend, Oregon, Eugene, Oregon. I'm sorry, guys. Out of Oregon, has supplied some nice carbon fiber rims in 29, and then I have Maxxis tires. I've gone with the Icon. It's their speed race compound, 2.2 in the front and a little bit wider to cushion Mira in the back at 2.35. So the bike moves a lot faster that way. And then I went with a narrower Ren fork, so it's the same as a regular mountain bike, but still the Ren inverted fork. I have added aero bars, so they have a persuader bar, so it's an integrated loop in the flat bike bar, and then upgraded on the brakes. So I have new brake rotors and calipers to help keep us safe and control speed from Swiss stop. So lots of great stuff on the bike there.
Do you use clip-in shoes?
Yeah, so for this race I've changed from flat pedals, so I would have one pair of shoes to walk around with, to a clipless system, which is the SPD system, and then I have some cross-country racing shoes, carbon fiber sole, mostly just for simplicity of clipping in, and for some improved performance for the race. Not great for walking. Do I prefer or like the Fairfire trailer? Yeah, that's what I would say, is that a trailer, a single wheel trailer particularly, is a great option, and the Fairfire trailer is amazing. It connects at the seat post. It's got this clamp that goes on there that you can use that clamp, and you remove it from that section. That little clamp stays on your seat post. And it's amazing how easily you can turn the bike around, and how well it handles, how little it bounces compared to the mounting point on, say, the Bob or the Burley trailers. I would highly recommend it. I've ridden with Cass Gilbert from bikepacking.com a lot with his dog Wasos, and yeah, I've been really impressed with it, and it's very light, so a great option. Well made in the US, and so I would highly recommend that for mountain bikers looking to go bike touring with their dog, or dog packing as we call it.
Are you going to film any of the race?
What's that?
Are you going to film any of the race?
Filming the race. Yes, we're trying. I'm trying to be more consistent with filming in general. Of course, I'm not going to stop and place a camera or fly a drone, but I do have a GoPro that I'm bringing. I have a little Insta360 camera that I will mount on Mira, actually. People have been asking for that, and I have used it from time to time, but we'll make a point to do that on a regular basis. So Mira can do some filming. You can see what it's like in her life, and I am considering bringing the 360 camera on there. So what I'll do is I'll capture all this footage. Thanks, Julie. That's very kind of you. I appreciate that. for your super thanks. So I will try to, what I'll do is I'll capture all that footage and then put it into an edit of our time on the Tour Divide. And I'll try to do some Instagram stories along the way. I think you guys will see us both very sleepy, probably at all times of the day. And I've been showing you a lot of Mexican food, so maybe I can show you some American food too. See what people think of the comparison. There's not going to be many pomodors for us to join in there. Yeah, thanks, Katrina. So, yeah, the question is, or the comment is, a lot of pros will be here this year. So that's Ted King, Alex Howes, who's raced for EF Education Dogpack, I think it was, or EF Education. Lyle Wilcox and Alexandra Hutchins and Marie Soleil Blaise. I don't know her. I don't know any of these people personally, but I don't know the name. So, yeah, I think you know what's really cool is just to see how this event is growing. You know, for just a grassroots thing. Oh, Senia, thank you very much. I really appreciate that. Yeah, so it'll be cool to see people of you know, all kinds of different experience levels. The way I kind of look at it though is that you know, I think it is cool and it's inspiring to see these people at the upper end of this emerging sport. I mean, it's been around for a long time, but I think the popularity is increasing a lot. I mean, even someone with a dog is doing this event. That will tell you how much it's growing. So yeah, I think it'll be kind of exciting, and I think they'll probably get a kick out of seeing someone try this same event with a dog. So yeah, it should be great. And then there's all the people that come from all over the world. I spoke with someone from Quito, Ecuador recently. There's lots of Kiwis and Aussies coming from that part of the world, and you know, South Africa, Europe, lots of people, and then of course all across the U.S. and Canada are coming to this event. So it's yeah, it's a really international crowd. It's pretty cool. Yeah.
Just a quick recap of time, distance, all that
Yeah.
stuff.
I'm just gonna have a little thing to wet my whistle. Mira's sitting up here. Hey baby, are you gonna lay down again? You can come up. What are you doing? Where are you going? Hey? Good girl. Yeah, so for, you know, some of you might have come here from Ryan's channel, or you've been following us only because of Mira, and then the guy that works the camera or rides the bike is sort of in the background, and that's totally cool. But for those that don't know much about the Tour Divide race itself, it's been going now for I think a couple of decades, at least the Great Divide mountain bike route, which was put together by the Adventure Cycling Association. They're based in Missoula, Montana, and they are an advocacy group for cycling safety and just people getting out on bikes in unique ways. So that's pretty cool. I love that. Ryan Who I see there. Yeah, that's right. Oh, great. The biking city of Copenhagen, Denmark. Thanks for taking your time to spend it with us today. I appreciate that. So the race, the Tour Divide race, is about 4,300 kilometers or 2,700 miles. It goes from Banff, Alberta, Canada, which is, like I said earlier, just about 20 minutes down the road at the end of Mount Rundle, and it starts just behind the iconic Fairmont Springs, Banff Springs Hotel. And then it follows the ACA route for the most part, basically tracing the Continental Divide all the way down through, it goes through, so through Canada, so Alberta and British Columbia, and it goes into Montana. We just trim off a corner of Idaho. We spend a really beautiful amount of time in Wyoming, and then of course colorful Colorado, which we get to go visit. I just realized I probably have to dance with Mira at the sign to Colorado. That's what Ryan has taught me. Every time we enter a new state or a new country, we have to do the happy dance. And then after the dance is done and Colorado is done, we finish off in New Mexico. And most people say that that's the hardest of the states that we ride through. And the little tiny border station of Antelope Wells is where we finish. Yes, Ryan, we will dance. Antelope Wells is for those that don't know, is the quietest or the smallest, depending on how you look at it, border station along the U.S. southern border, and that's where we finish. So yeah, it's a long way, and it's all self-supported. So we can use services that are available to everyone else. They don't have to be commercial. So for example, John and Barbara at the Lama Ranch, just north of Helena, Montana, they provide accommodation, like in the form of cabins and tents, and some food and water, charging to everyone that's on the divide, whichever way they're going, whether they're racing or not racing. It's an amazing, and there are other generous people along the route that do those kind of things, but those services are available to all of us, so that there's no unfair advantage for locals, which is kind of great. And then yeah, everything else is self-supported. And if you do leave the route for some services, you need to come back to the route at the same point where you left, that you can't sort of make these little shortcuts, these little loops, and then finish the whole thing. Yeah, so it's quite a thing. Oh my goodness, Indonesia. Which island or city are you watching from? I'm sorry, I'm not. If I try to pronounce your name, I might insult you, or you just laugh at me. One of the other. So maybe we can make our way there sometime. That would be nice. Oh, cool. West Java. Bandung, West Java. So that's the power of the internet. How cool is that? That Mira and I get to go, ride around the world and then have a live chat with people from their homes or their cars or their offices. Just before we're about to head down this Tour Divide mountain bike race. Pretty cool. Mira is playing. I'm just going to show you guys here. Sorry for the camera work. One of the things that I've done here. Can we see that? Can we see that? Oh yeah, there we are. So that's one of Mira's booties. Oh, thank you so much, Craig. I really appreciate that. We will make sure that Mira gets some special treats with that. Super thanks. Thank you. So this race is so long. Mira doesn't normally wear booties. I do carry them for emergency situations, or example, in Baja, California, big desert area, lots of thorns. Oh, there's a Scottish Canadian there. Hello. So yeah, I carry the booties, a different pair that I'll also carry as backup in case she loses one of these, for thorns and the like, cactus thorns. We don't ride on a lot of asphalt, but it can be very hot. And so these rough wear booties have a Vibram sole, and she'll wear those probably for the entire race, I suspect. And I'm just doing that as a preventative measure so that she doesn't injure her paw or tear a nail. Normally we would stop for much longer periods of time where she gets to rest. And I think, this is just a good way to help protect her paws against any kind of damage that might occur. So right now she's doing the booty walk. Anyone who out there who has dogs, you notice when they put them on the first time, they take these big steps and they're all clumsy and kind of wondering. So yeah, anyway, it's funny, but I think it's a good way to go. Oh, Leslie, thank you so much. Appreciate that. What sort of medicines do I use on her, Randy? So, yeah, so Krista from Grey Goose Mobile Vet Service has been consulting with us and supporting us for this event, and she's helped us, sort of consulted with us on what medications to bring along. So she does take a flea and tick on a regular basis, on a monthly basis, and then she's got a parasite, like a heartworm and parasite medication that's, I believe it's every 3 months that I give it to her. Both of which I gave her today, actually. I have it in my calendar on my phone. And that just helps deal with parasites and fleas and ticks and these kind of things that can sneak up on a dog and create a lot of damage. And then I have some other medications just for emergency use, pain relief, stomach upset if she has some bad water. And then I also have some eye drops for her. So she has her goggles. Thank you, Greg. I really appreciate that. I have some eye drops for her. They're mostly for lubrication of her eyes. She does have her goggles, but sometimes she doesn't like to wear them all the time if it's very hot or she's running very hard and she needs to open up her mouth and pant a lot. And what happens is that she sits in the basket facing, if she's laying down, mostly to my right-hand side. So it's her left eye that gets quite dry and so a little red, and I just put some drops in there just to make sure that it doesn't progress to something more, because their eyes are very similar to ours, and that they get irritated by sun, wind, dust, those sort of things. And there's nothing sadder than seeing an old dog with cloudy eyes that they can't see. You know, it's nice to have make sure that the dog's health takes her right into her old age. So yeah, she's mi compañera. So we'll definitely make sure that we take care of my traveling partner there. Yeah. Oh, Rob, 162 miles is your record. That is a lot of riding, and that's pretty cool. That you should be proud of that. Now imagine that on a mountain bike with a lot of relief in the topography, and then a 50-pound bundle of joy in the back of your bike, and no sleep or little sleep. Madison, thank you very much. I really appreciate that. Yes, and I see Ryan commenting here to Mark. He is going to Sweden. You'll definitely enjoy watching that adventure, because Ryan spent an exchange period in Sweden and speaks Swedish, and he truly, his inner Swedish chef, I'm sure, is going to come out during this trip. So it'll be fun to watch it. That's pretty impressive, Rob, because you're 64, so you have a decade on me, which is pretty amazing. Yeah, and then so guys, we're probably going to wrap in another 10 minutes or so. So if you have any questions you want to ask, then feel free. We'll try and get them answered here for you. He won't need to bring any Swedish meatballs. Yes, right. Ryan. Yeah, and for those of you that, I mean, maybe a lot of you have heard of Banff, but Canmore is just outside of the national park. So we're a little bit closer to Calgary, which is the main airport. And then, yeah, and so it's a very similar town, quite a small town, but a very touristic town now. So it gets crowded on the weekends. Elizabeth, did you have a former profession? I still have it. So I do two main things for work. One is I am a certified alpine guide, so I take people climbing in the mountains. They're not always recreationalists, although that is a good part of it. Also some industrial work in the mountains. So whether that's safety on a movie or resource exploration, scientific exploration, those kind of things. And then industrial rope access. So it's a related skill set, and that's usually maintenance or inspection in large industrial sites, or it could be something as simple as washing windows. So it's pretty diverse, and I can do that for blocks of time. More and more, I would love to, I'd love to just be able to ride with Mira, traveling around. And I guess the other thing is, I don't work all the time because I live an extremely frugal life. In countries like Mexico, we can definitely stretch our dollar a lot further. Although inflation is having an impact in there that I see even in my time there. And then coming back to a place like Canmore here in the heart of the Rocky Mountains, a dollar does not go very far. It gets eaten up pretty fast. So yeah. What else we got here? Yes, we did come straight from Mexico. So we flew. I got a ride from Oaxaca up to Mexico City, and then we flew from Mexico City on Air Canada to Vancouver, and then it was to Calgary. And actually, it all went pretty well. We had a great time, and Mira came out of it super well. So it was great. Hey Raf, how you doing? Answer the question already, but when you finish tour, will you take the world tour from Oaxaca? Yeah, when will you be in Europe? I would love to ride with you in Spain. Spain is really one of my favorite countries to. Oh, Douglas, thank you very much. That's very kind of you. Spain is one of my most favorite countries to go bike touring and bike packing in, and I would recommend it to everyone. So right now the plan is we'll spend the summer mostly in the United States. That will allow the rainy season to pass. Then we'll fly back to Mexico and continue on our journey south, so through Central America and then into South America. And then after that, the chances are we'll likely go to Australia and Oceania. I'd like to go to Antarctica. Cost and logistics are extremely high there. And the other thing is that, Mira's going to be 6 this summer, and I want to spend as much time with her as a healthy dog riding around as I can. So, but maybe Europe is the way to go first and ride south. There is no definite roadmap, so I'll keep you in the loop there, Raph. Appreciate that. Yeah, so that's a good question there, Jeff. So with the sustained effort and potential hot weather, does Mira get any sort of electrolyte drink to protect her from dehydration? So this is where Grey Goose Vet really educated me. I had never thought of that, because dogs don't sweat the same way we do. She pants, with her tongue out, and that's how she's cooling. So I'm doing 2 things. So the answer to your question is yes. There's, I think it's called Limit, is a sugar-free, although sugar I think is fine for dogs. There are some synthetic sweeteners that are not. I think it's xylitol, aspartame, but definitely consult your vet before you do these things. Some of these are very toxic to dogs, and so, but yeah, so she will get a bit of electrolyte. Mostly, it's for the flavor. Honestly, it'll be sweet and salty, and then she'll drink some of it. And then she'll always get access to water. And I definitely need to keep an eye on her. And this is a bit of learning for us too. This kind of travel. So if I need to stop, if I get a sense that Mira is having problems, then I'll definitely stop. And then the other thing is, I have a vest from Roughwear that has some zippered pockets down the side of it. It's for runners, and I've had it modified. What I can do is put in cloths, like sort of washcloths, to get those wet, or I can put in ice. Oh, thank you, Brent. That's very kind of you. I really appreciate that. Or I could put ice and water in the side of this vest to help with cooling. And then for the other temperature extreme, she's got a new rain jacket, a new rain cape to help keep her comfortable. Randy, thank you so much. That's very kind of you. Appreciate that. I saw a question there from Athena, I think it was. Yeah, we are going to, our plan now is to kayak or canoe, some paddle craft between a small town south of Colon, Panama, called Puerto Carti. It's the last part where the road goes to on the coastal side, on the northeastern coast, and then paddle through the San Blas Islands and the Unagala. I'm sorry, I've messed that up. I'll put that in the comments. I'm getting a little tired, I suspect. But there are some indigenous communities along the coast, Unayala communities. There are some privately owned islands, but we'll navigate our way to Colombia. And then in the town of Turbo is where the road starts again. It might make sense to pull in there or somewhere further along. And if we did it on a pack raft or some kind of modular boat, then we could have it sent down to Patagonia at some point and paddle some rivers maybe. Mira loves the water, but we'll definitely make sure she's wearing a life jacket and do some training before we attempt the crossing. And there's lots of good information. People have done it, both with their bikes and without their bikes. So yeah, that's how we're gonna deal with that. I'd like to. Yeah, thanks, Holly. We're going to do our best to be safe and have some fun and really make this a special trip. I think it's. I see someone who's there from. Oh, thanks, Kevin. And then yeah, Ryan's going to have a great time. You are an Oregonian, 20 years overseas, and you have connections to Denmark and Norway, both beautiful countries. And in the US, I would say the Oregon Timber Trail is one of my favorite bikepacking routes, and I've suggested it to Ryan a couple of times. I'm not sure we'll do it together. We're going to be somewhere else, but he'll be able to show you guys all the beauty that is Oregon, I think. That'll be pretty awesome. Yeah. How about a live follow-up after the race? Douglas, we will definitely do that. I think it'll be interesting. I'll try to get a before and after photo of both of us to see the skin color and the amount of fat on my face now versus then, and how tired I look. I think I'm gonna look every bit of my age by the time we get there, but we will we'll definitely be doing an Instagram live at that point. And we'll have lots of stories to share from the race. And hopefully some of you live near or on the course and follow our dot. And please come and say hi. I'll definitely have stickers for you. So yeah. And so the Garden Channel, yes, this is just a schedule change for the World Tour. We are definitely going to continue on with our 7-continent World Tour. Active Towns, thanks so much. Oh yeah, thank you. Appreciate the kind message. So that's Laura and John from Active Towns. Seems to me you might have a YouTube channel. I should take a look. You guys should take a look too, definitely. Yeah. Anything else we can think of? Yeah. So I think that's going to be it for today, guys. Appreciate that. It's I see that quite a few people have been hanging out. 160 of you, which I'm really touched by, that you would spend time listening to me talk, and then you really all came for her. So there's, yeah, hey sweet girl. Yeah. So definitely know that I'll be taking care of Mira the whole way on the route. You know, her safety is the priority. If I can finish the route, that would be the next one. And to do it in competitive time would be sort of the last of it. And then I'll document it. I'll make sure that we get lots of stuff to share with you guys so you can see what a bad idea this is, really, I think. So, yeah, thanks, Rafa. Yeah, appreciate that so much. So, yeah. Oh, hey guys from Nelson, BC. Yeah, that's great. So, oh, all these messages coming in. Thanks so much. I really appreciate that, guys. So we're gonna say bye. I hope you guys have a great day wherever you are. If you're in Java in Indonesia, or if you're in Cape Town, South Africa, or I know Boulder, Colorado is representing, and Burlington, Ontario, Canada. You know, Montana and Chicago, Illinois. So yeah, thanks so much for taking the time out of your day to spend part of the afternoon, morning, or evening with us.